Hello.
Hey, Lode, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Let me give you a quick intro and then I'll hand it over to you.
Sounds good.
So Lode Groosman is the co-founder and CCO of Threedium. He's a highly driven and motivated entrepreneur who's passionate about digital innovation. Threedium specializes in bringing products to life online through lightweight and lightning fast 3D and AR formats. Threedium's 3D solutions are made for marketers and modelers alike, simple enough to launch in minutes and powerful enough to power charge your e-commerce sales. I'll hand it off to Lode to tell us about how Threedium bridges the gap between in-store and online shopping experiences through 3D and AR technology. Lode, the...
All right, just going to share my screen. So yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As I've just been introduced, I'm the co-founder and CCO of Threedium, and essentially we specialize in creating the most engaging and interactive online brand experiences through lightweight and lightning fast 3D formats, which you can apply to e-commerce, digital advertising, and social media. So there's just a couple of things that I want to take you through today. We're going to be looking at how you can create 3D and AR solutions that really transform the buying experience in a groundbreaking way with how people can interact and explore your products and fall in love with them. And in addition to this, we're going to go over some online strategy on how 3D and AR formats really positively impact the customer at the various stages within the customer journey. So I just want to highlight that this technology has been designed for companies of all sizes. Typically, people who see immersive formats think that these are immensely expensive and very complex. But to the contrary, by having built a cloud-based platform, we have heavily simplified the process required to get and publish interactive 3D models across different digital channels, be it e-commerce or digital advertising. And all this is provided through affordable subscription plans, so you don't have to be a multinational company. It's essentially for any company that is looking to bridge the gap between the in-store and the online shopping experience. So without further ado, let's get started and let me show you how simple it really is. So firstly, let's look at the current online landscape and how 3D elevates the experience. So companies are still heavily relying on images and video as the only format to display their products. Now, the problem with this is that it's still a very pedestrian experience in the sense that the static images show very limited perspectives of a product, and it requires the user to navigate between pages to find product variations, or they need to scan an entire page to find relevant information. Videos, on the other hand, are really restrict the user's freedom to explore what they find most important in a product. So for example, with the automotive industry, a video of a vehicle might demonstrate or highlight features that the brand thinks are important to me as a customer, but essentially putting me in the same basket as other customers, although our likes and criteria of value might be completely different. So 3D really allows companies to provide a more personalized experience since the user can explore the product in their own path. So you don't have to fast forward the video or look at a specific section that you're interested in. 3D really allows me as a customer to explore my interest directly without diminishing the features that the brand find important. So our 3D formats really extend the shopping experience, and they circumvent the limitations of images and video. So it really enables the user to explore products however they see fit. So from any angle, they can zoom in and out with rich rendering on any specific part of the product, and they can see any number of variations in real time without ever leaving the page. The AR format then takes it a step further and really allows them to augment the model into any real-world environment. So this is essentially the closest experience that you can have to a product without physically standing in the store. And this is really what arms consumers with the information they need to make a confident purchasing decision. So where do you start? How do you obtain your own 3D AR formats, and what do you require? So it's a very straightforward process. All that we need are reference images, so different images from front, back, left to right, so that the modeling team clearly knows what the end result should look like. Then what's also very important are the product dimensions, because this allows us to recreate your product one-to-one. And this is especially important for the AR format, because when the user triggers the AR experience, your product will appear in its life-size dimension and giving the user a real grasp of what to expect. Now, understanding the dimensions of a product is an issue that is experienced across industries. So augmented reality is a great way for your users to really understand the size of your product and putting it into context. Lastly, we would also like to know, what's very helpful is, where are you intending to launch the solution? So is this going to be for your e-commerce store? Is this going to be a banner ad? Because this helps us to understand for which channel we need to optimize the 3D formats for. So now that you understand what you need to get started, let's look at the process. So firstly, you would create an account on our Unlimited 3D platform. There you would then submit a brief with the reference images and the product dimensions of your product. And you can either submit that through the platform or send an email to the account manager. Because our platform is essentially both self-serve, allowing you to create, modify, and publish 3D content on your own, or as a managed service where you provide us a brief and you lay back while Threedium does all the heavy lifting. So let me show you some of these steps in more detail. Firstly, you create an account. This is just a regular sign-up page like anything else. So this, you know the drill. It's the first and last name, your email, and you're ready to go. So once you've signed in, on the dashboard, there's the upload image feature. And this is where you upload the reference images of your product, and you provide a description, or basically a brief, of what your intention is and what you would like the end solution to look and feel like. So in this case, the user wants to have a 3D viewer of their watch, and they're going to be embedding it on a Wix website. Then here again, you can check what the purpose is. So is it just going to be for e-commerce, or is it also going to be used for an ad? Again, it's just to give us a better understanding of what the overall project is consisting of. So you then submit for a quote. Within 24 hours, we'll get back to you with a quote and timeline when everything can be set up. So let's say that you approve the quote and you move forward. So you would then be notified when the model is set up and ready on your account. You would then log in to inspect that the model has been prepared exactly according to your brief, and that all the details have been included, from texture, colors, sizings, and everything. So let's say that you're happy with the overall look. You then go to the publish page, and here our platform automatically generates an iframe. So this is a simple one-line code. Here on the right, you can see the watch. This is what is inside this one line of code. So you can then go ahead and copy that one line of code, and you would go to your intended place. So in this case, this user wanted to embed it on Wix, just for demonstrative purposes, very easy. You would then, on Wix, you would add a custom placeholder. So that's just an HTML iframe. You add that, and then in the enter code section on the top left, you would just paste that iframe that you copied from our platform. So once you apply that, voila, you have an interactive 3D model on your website. Now, what's really great is that all our solutions are responsive. So if you change the size of the placeholder, our 3D model will automatically adjust accordingly. But of course, you can have fixed dimensions. This just would, you can set this up yourself. So let's say that you're now happy with the placement of the model. You would essentially save or republish. You refresh your website. And there you go. You have a website from submitting a couple of images to having an interactive 3D model onto your website where your customers can really view it from any angle and really get up and close. So for all of you that think that this is quite straightforward, what would the process be like for high volume projects? So Threedium has a pool of hundreds of vetted modelers, so we're able to accomplish a high number of models in a very short time period. And it's a very similar approach where you would basically provide us a brief. We would either share a Google Drive with you, or the box, or whichever software that you're comfortable with sharing information. Our team would then review all the reference images that you provided, and we would come back to you with a quote. So I want to highlight once more that this technology is really for any type of product, any industry, and for any type of website. So a lot of people really think that 3D and AR is fantastic for product-oriented companies, which it is, but we're seeing a growing number of use cases for service-based companies as well. And so here, to give you an idea, this is an execution we did with IPsoft. These guys are absolute geniuses when it comes to artificial intelligence. And so rather than having your standard video or a giant amount of text with some images, we've created an interactive 3D brain that represents the mind of the artificial intelligence with interactive hotspots around it that call out unique selling points or abilities of the artificial intelligence. So again, just a much more rich and compelling way to obtain information, and just a much more rich experience overall. So for the strategy bit of our presentation, I'm just going to show you some different use cases on how we're using 3D formats and AR at the different stages in the customer journey. So at the discovery stage or the awareness stage, this is where the clock starts and the customer lifecycle officially begins. So it's essential that the first touch point is a memorable and lasting experience. Now, what better way to make your product stand out of the page than with an interactive 3D format? This has shown to be an extremely effective way to redirect users to your desired destination. So here, as an example, this is a 3D banner ad that we did for Nissan Qashqai, where the user could change colors of the vehicle, see it from any angle, and then book for a test drive. And then again here, a different use case where with Sainsbury's, where we created a 3D carousel of skincare products. And again, so this is what reels the users in, it captures their attention. And then here they can then see the products more closely, but also begin a series of just a handful of questions about their skincare issue. And our 3D carousel will then spit out the recommended skincare solution for that specific issue. So in the consideration and education stage, this is where the consumer evaluates a product. And so it's critical that we deliver key information to help persuade the consumer to make the best purchasing decision. And so what we do with this is with interactive hotspots to help educate users or your customers by showing unique selling points without ever losing sight of the product. So here in this case with Tanqueray, what we've done is, again, that you have the bottle in 3D, and the hotspots are different cocktails that you can make with this drink. And so you can include video, text, or images. And in this case, we've added a video of a barman actually creating the drink, and then adding text of what the ingredients are and how you would go about creating that drink. So it's, again, it's building some story rather than just having a static image of a product, and really providing a more compelling experience for the end user. Then another way we help educate users around functionalities of products is with real-time animations. So as you can see here with this, with Furo systems, they create foldable bikes, electric bikes. And so we're able to demonstrate how you would fold that bike, and then you can go ahead and see that bike in your living room or wherever you are in its life-size dimension. And depending on which position it is, you can either see it folded or unfolded. But again, it's bringing that in-store experience online through the mobile device. And the best part of this all with our augmented reality formats is that there's no need to download an app, to create an account, or log into anything. This is straight through the browser. So your customers have this experience with a simple click of a button, and by clicking X, they return back to the page where they were. Now, in the last stage of the customer journey is the intent and decision stage, and this is usually where a consumer has already decided on a solution category, and this is where we see 3D really shining. This is especially around product configurations. So this really allows a customer to explore products in their entirety, to see all available options in real time, to do engravings, essentially anything that you're offering around personalization, to be able to see it in exceptional quality and in real time. And this has proven again and again to outperform static experiences. But we've seen sales uplifts by 30%. We've seen engagement with over 300%. And just in general, we've seen that 3D and AR formats have a more lasting impact on the customer and their shopping behavior compared to just static or video formats. And that sums it up for today.
Hi, Lode. This is Yu Ching. I think Yu is having some technical difficulties, so I'm jumping in.
Hi.
So I have a question for you. Which verticals do you guys typically work with? Because I've seen watch and bikes. What are some other examples?
So as you mentioned, yes, automotive, then luxury. This is from jewelry to watches, fashion, and from everything in fashion, from clothing, handbags, accessories, even machinery, construction, CPG products. So it's over and over again, we're seeing new use cases for 3D where even we're surprised, well, hey, this has actually a great fit for this industry.
Awesome. Hey, Stu.
Yep, I'm back. Had a question about kind of the returns on like 3D modeling for your customers. So, when you're working with them, of course, the experience of something in 3D sounds better, but how do they evaluate the return on working with you? Do customers see greater conversion, more time spent on product pages on site? Like how do you frame kind of the proposition?
So we're seeing in terms of metrics that 3D has been outperforming on the entire scale from redirecting users from ads to websites, so increasing traffic, to the amount of time spent on a website. We've seen that, especially when it comes to configurations, people are now, companies where we've taken a 2D configurator to 3D, we've seen that their users spend at least 2 times the amount of the time that they did before. We've seen that there's increasing basket sizes because they're now able to see in real time the different options. They do further considerations. And the overall conversions. So as an example, on Dandy, they make handmade shoes. They've had a 2D configurator. We transitioned them to a 3D configurator. And within the first 6 months, we've seen an uplift of 30% in their sales conversion. And we're seeing similar metrics across automotive, within jewelry, and other use cases.
Great. And then, Yuxing had asked about product types that work best for this platform. What about, and you mentioned a service example, well, what types of services might be a great fit for what you are building?
So another service that we're working on is, for example, with Mercedes, which is around the fleet management. So we have, again, a 3D experience around the vehicle, but then we have interactive hotspots that have different call-outs to showcase, or that trigger videos that showcase the benefits of the fleet management or how it can impact your business. So it's just a lot more visuals and trying to keep the user on the same page rather than they have to go. Because what we've seen is the less steps the user has to take for an experience, the more likely they are to convert.
Amazing. All right, Lode, well, thank you very much for your presentation and introduction to Threedium. If there are additional questions, Lode, if you want to go over to the session, the breakout session, my colleague Stephen will be in there, and additional questions can be answered. And then, as I've mentioned before, we will connect those in our audience of approximately 400 people now who are interested with you post-conference. And so look for that later this week. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.